Welcome to Hollywood Park in Inglewood, California, where this afternoon, live on ESPN, we present this track's premier handicap thoroughbred race, the Hollywood Gold Cup. The Gold Cup, the sixth event in the 9-race, $6.25 million American Championship Racing Series, and the headline event in a new concept in thoroughbred racing television. This is Summer Stakes. And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Welcome as we make sports television history today here on ESPN. An expanded 90-minute Budweiser Racing Across America telecast featuring 3 live races from 3 different sites with our announcers and production crew at each location. Let's take a look at our race day card for Summer Stakes. It starts in New York, the Grade 2 3-year-old race, the Dwyer, and bonus coverage, the Bowling Green Handicap, a turf race. Then on to the Molly Pitcher Handicap, fillies and mares at Monmouth Park in New Jersey. And back here in Southern California, the $750 million Hollywood Gold Cup. So for race fans around the country, what a treat you have today. We'll be bringing you 3-year-olds, older handicap horses, fillies and mares, turf horses from around the country. Here in Southern California, warm, humid day and a fast track. Let's set the locations around the country, though. First to New York, Belmont Park. Our host there, Bob Newmeyer.
Thank you very much, Chris Lincoln, and good afternoon, everybody. It's an overcast, muggy day here at Belmont, and overnight rains have blessed this a muddy racetrack, upgraded to good just a couple of moments ago. We have 6 3-year-olds to go, a mile and an eighth here in the Dwyer, featuring Miner's Mark out of the brilliant race mare Personal Ensign. What a sweetheart she was. We'll see how this improving colt does today in Cherokee Run. You might remember him second in the Preakness Stakes.
Well, that's coming up from New York, our first live race, the Dwyer. Then after that, it'll be Monmouth Park on the Jersey Shore for their big filly and mare race there. And to set the scene, we join Dave Johnson and Jenny Ornstein.
Well, it's a Grade 2 event, but history has proven that this is Grade 1 company.
Might say it's a picture full of class in this race. We've had a lot of champions win it. They mentioned Miner's Mark is the son of Personal Ensign. Well, she won this race in 1988, and it was a romp for this future champion. She retired undefeated, and she won the race so easily here that it was absolutely just a gallop. But she's not the only champion who's won the Molly Pitcher.
Oh, in 1986, that great ghost of a filly named Lady's Secret won the Molly Pitcher. She won the Breeders' Cup Distaff that same year, was named champion older mare, and she was horse of the year of that year. So the Molly Pitcher certainly set her up for it. Yes, there is excitement in the air here on the Jersey Shore, and we'll be bringing you live wire-to-wire coverage just a bit later in our program of the Molly Pitcher. Chris?
All right, Dave, back at Hollywood Park, this track of lakes and flowers here. What a treat you race fans have. Without a doubt, the 3 top race callers in America, Dave Johnson, Tom Durkin, along with Trevor Denman here to call our races today. And joining me, the queen herself of sports television and thoroughbred racing, Chelsea Canty. Chelsea, with our older horses in the spotlight in the Gold Cup today, it's a wide-open division, the handicap division, a wide-open race today.
Well, the fact that we have 10 horses in this field reflects the unfocused nature of the handicap division here in California, where no one horse has really been dominant. In fact, it's pretty much the same story all over the country, and I think we see that reflected in our ACRS points.
We do, Chelsea. Take a look at it now. After 5 of the 9 races, there you see the leader, Devil Is Due. 2 of our horses in the race today, Missionary Ridge and Latin American, have points on the board. Missionary Ridge could take the lead with a victory. 10 points for the win. They, of course, have a final bonus of $900,000 to split up there. Well, let's check our race conditions now for the Hollywood Gold Cup this afternoon. Grade 1, $750 million in the purse. The first place check, $412,500. They go a mile and a quarter on this mile and an eighth racing oval here, and it's a fast track.
Well, let's take a look at our headliners in today's Gold Cup. We'll start with the leading active money earner of all times, and that's Best Pal. He's the favorite, despite the fact his last victory was 15 months ago in the Oaklawn Handicap. But he was away from the races for 8 of those months, and he was a good second last time out. Only 2 starters are coming off winning races, and one of them is Latin American, who upset the Californian here at Hollywood, but he's been sidelined for the 9 weeks since then. The other is Marquetry, who went wire-to-wire in the Mervyn Leroy. He won the Gold Cup in '91 and comes equipped today with speedy stablemates Bertrando and Missionary Ridge.
Well, got a lot of racing before we see those Hollywood Gold Cup stars ahead of us. We'll be going now to New York for the Dwyer when we come back. But Summer Stakes on ESPN gets underway today. Live to Hollywood Park, some of the race fans making their selections for the racing day ahead here, and a long day it's going to be. It's going to start for us with the Dwyer Stakes in New York. Let's take a look at the race conditions. The Dwyer, it's 76 running of a Grade 2 event, mile and 8, $200,000 guaranteed in the purse for 3-year-olds. And we'll go from the west to the east coast now. About 3 minutes to post to the Dwyer. And again, join our host there at Belmont, Bob Newmeyer.
Boy, it seemed like only yesterday when Colonial Affair shocked the racing world, winning the Belmont Stakes. Well, the Dwyer is kind of the way station, the halfway point between the Belmont and the Travers. Run at Saratoga in mid-August for a brief history of the Dwyer. And to run down the field, let's go to the voice of New York racing, Tom Durkin.
A number of stakes races here in New York are named after some of the old-time aristocratic lovers of the game. August Belmont has a stakes named after him. Then there's the Whitney Handicap. There are others. Today's 76-year-old race is named after a couple of guys from Brooklyn who owned a meatpacking company, Mike and Phil Dwyer. And they loved the game, too, and eventually built one of the best stables in America in the early 1900s. Some of the best horses in America have won this race, including none other than Man o' War himself in 1920. Well, Man o' War is not on the field today, and neither are any of his incarnations, but it's a good field of 6, 4 of them strong, solid, graded stakes performers. Let's meet them, and number 1 is Miner's Mark, the first son of the great undefeated filly champion Personal Ensign. His most recent victory in the Colin would have made Mom proud. Silver of Silver stalled this spring with nagging ailments, but he was a healthy 4th in the Belmont. Prospector's Flag, whose entry here seems to be a triumph of hope over ability, and As Indicated, who has lots of ability and lots of speed, he won the Gotham wire to wire. Toss of the coin, well, somebody had to be last in the Derby. 2 grass races since then, but he still remains winless this year. And Cherokee Run, Pat Day stood by his moral guns and refused to appeal a riding suspension, losing the opportunity to ride his Preakness runner-up Cherokee Run in the Belmont. They are reunited today and should love the distance. Newmeyer?
Well, how do you breed a champion? Well, the old saw goes, you breed the best to the best, and you hope for the best. That certainly is the case with Miner's Mark. By Mr. Prospector out of that brilliant race mare, Personal Ensign. What a marvelous still photo of the mare with her foal. That's little Miner's Mark as a foal. And he's gone on to show promise for Shug McGahee. And here is the Collins Stakes at Belmont, and you see him on the inner rail with the familiar Phipps colors of black and the cherry cap. He sat behind a blistering suicidal pace that day. He's forced to tack on 8 pounds today. He came home in a rather snail-like 14 seconds in the final 8th, and yet his breeding and his connections still hold him in high regard. He's at 9-5 and is the co-favorite in the Dwyer today. The other favorite is Cherokee Run. Remember him in the Preakness Stakes? There is Cherokee Run. Pat Day will be back on this horse. He ran a big one in the slop at Churchill Downs on Derby Trial Day. That set him up for a terrific outside move in the Preakness at 9-1. I thought he had a chance to win it all. He finished second in that race. The problem with Cherokee Run today is perhaps he is what we call over the top. That he peaked perhaps in the race at Churchill Downs. His speed figure suggests perhaps a deteriorating form, which leads us to 2 other horses in today's race. One of them is my selection, As Indicated. This is an interesting horse. He's at 6-1 right now. Silver of Silver also has a big shot for the race. Let's go upstairs to Tom Durkin.
And the final horse will move into line here, Cherokee Run. It's a long, long run down this backstretch here at Belmont Park. 5 furlongs before they hit that first and only turn. So in mile and an 1/8 races here at Belmont, patience is a virtue. You really can't move too soon. Pat Day has a horse that has good tactical speed, and there they move into post position number 6 with Cherokee Run. They're in the gate, and they're off. And Cherokee Run breaks alertly on the outside, As Indicated right there now, and he's flashing his speed as they move up the chute and head onto the main track, and As Indicated will be the early leader, but Cherokee Run is right there with him all the way, won't let him get loose. Prospector's Flag is running 3rd by 2, and Silver of Silver relatively close today. He's about 6 lengths from the lead. Then Toss of the Coin, Miner's Mark is the early trailer. 22-4 for the first quarter here. Strong fractions early. As Indicated now, beginning to edge to a short lead. Cherokee Run, though, still has him right there with him. Second by 2.5 lengths. Prospector's Flag is running 3rd. Silver of Silver is being nudged along in 4th. Miner's Mark is down inside and is drawn within 5 lengths of the lead. Toss of the coin, the trailer, grueling fractions, the half in 45 and 4. As indicated, has been hounded the whole way by Cherokee Run. Cherokee Run, and as indicated, heads apart with the half-mile to run. Prospector's Flag now running in third. Miner's Mark is drawn within 3 of the lead. Silver of Silver is commencing a bid from in between horses, and Toss of the Coin continues to trail, and with 3 furlongs to run, Cherokee Run has taken a short lead, but as indicated, as a stubborn foe today, and he's battling right back. Miner's Mark is hemmed in, while in behind horses, Silver of Silver is right alongside him. It's Cherokee Run turning for home with the lead, and Miner's Mark has a clear seam to run through, and he's second now. Silver of Silver is third on the outside, coming to the final furlong. Pat Day is hand-riding Cherokee Run, pulling away from them, and pulling away from them impressively. Cherokee Run, an eye-opening performance to win the Dwyer by 5. Miner's Mark was just second best, and Silver of Silver was third. And the time here was 1 minute 47 3/5 seconds. No doubt about this winner. Cherokee Run, very impressive. Not only did he blow him away in the stretch, but he was with a very demanding pace throughout. This is one good-looking 3-year-old.
So much for over-the-top speed figures. Sitting right outside, as indicated, Pat Day, back on Cherokee Run. Ran a beautiful race in the Preakness to finish second to Prairie Bayou. He sat outside the speed of As Indicated, who gave it up at the top of the lane. Miner's Mark looked like he had a shot here, but no, nothing doing today. As Pat Day puts Miner's Mark away, Silver of Silver trying to bid 3 wide in the outside. The rest of them hopelessly beaten. The fans in New York very sharp, made Cherokee Run the 8-5 co-choice with Miner's Mark. That's how they finished 1-2. Cherokee Run, Pat Day at 8-5 here at Belmont Park.
You're looking live at Hall of Fame rider Pat Day, just getting off the scale. He's weighed in. It's going to be official as soon as they put those numbers up in New York. Right now, unofficially, you should see Frank Alexander, the trainer of Cherokee Run. He's got to be thrilled. Cherokee Run, unofficial one of the Dwyer Stakes, 147-3, wins by 5. The horse that ran 6th in the Belmont, 2nd in the Preakness, unofficial one of the Dwyer. We'll be back, of course, to give you the final figures on the Dwyer, post-race interviews and analysis with Bob Newmeyer and Tom Durkin. But first, we'll look ahead a bit to our Hollywood Gold Cup by looking back at some of the rich history of Hollywood Park's biggest race. Hollywood Park's first meeting, 1938, was so successful it added a special $50,000 race named the Hollywood Gold Cup. It was won that year by the legendary Seabiscuit, ridden by the Iceman, George Wolfe, who would win the first 3 runnings of this race. Citation became the sport's first millionaire when at age 6, the former Triple Crown winner won the Gold Cup in 1951. The California racing star, Swaps, won the 1956 running. The legendary Bill Shoemaker up for the first of 3 straight wins, and a record total 8 Gold Cup victories. Shoemaker was back in the winner's circle in 1957 with the Great Round Table. And again the next year with Gallant Man. Racing's last Triple Crown winner, Affirmed, made racing history with his win in the 1979 Gold Cup, becoming the first thoroughbred to earn more than $2 million. Other Gold Cup legends include Hall of Fame trainer Charlie Whittingham with 8 wins, and the only multiple winning horse in this race, the great Native Diver. He won 3 consecutive Gold Cups from 1965 through 1967. The trainer Buster Melrick, jockey Jerry Lambert. Today, history will be made again as the 1993 victor goes up on the marble wall to honor the winners of the Hollywood Gold Cup.
Well, the Gold Cup is a handicap, and it showcased some of the great weight carriers. We saw Ack win this race under 134 pounds. Affirmed won under 132. Today, we have a 12-pound spread in the weights. Best Pal carries top weight of 121. And let's take a look at the rest of the field. Trainer Bobby Frankel has a 3-pronged entry here with Bertrando, Marquetry, and Missionary Ridge. They're very speedy, and they'll be tough to catch. There are 3 geldings in the field. Lottery winner is 1 with Chris McCarron. Reform claimer Campo Marcio gets Julio Garcia, and the tough New Zealand bred gelding Rough Habit has brought his own rider, Mick Dittman, up from down under. The popular gelding Best Pal, of course, gets Carrie Black, and Willard Proctor trains Major Impact. Gary Stevens rides. Argentine-bred Potreon has Lafitte Pincay in the irons, and lastly, the Californian winner, Latin American, with Eddie De La Houssaye.
That's a rundown of our field for the Hollywood Gold Cup, coming up as the third and final live race in our Summer Stakes coverage. Right now, we're ready to make the first one official. The Dwyer Stakes, the numbers are up. It is official at Belmont Park, New York. Let's go back there for the race recap.
All right, thank you very much. Joining me is Pat Day, who had a breeze, I would say, Pat, on Cherokee Run, attending very, very fast fractions, but still having enough horse to draw away in the lane. Your view of this race?
Well, I kind of liked where my view came from, which was, of course, in the saddle. He was very well prepared with Mr. Alexander. You know, the fractions were extremely quick, as you said, but the track is extremely quick today. So he was very much in hand up the backside and around the turn, and you know, he just put him away in the stretch and was galloping away from him, and, you know, at the wire. You chose to honor a suspension for the Belmont Stakes. Chris Antley rode him that day. A lot of people lauded you for that move, and now you're back on it. And I guess that kind of a move paid off for you today, Pat. Well, I certainly appreciate Mr. Robinson and Mr. Alexander giving me the opportunity to ride him back. But what we had to do that day, I had to honor what I felt, which was I just didn't think that the appeal system was there to enable a man to get around serving his suspension just to ride any horse in a particular race. And so we had to do what we had to do to live with ourselves. And as I said, I appreciate Mr. Alexander and Mr. Robinson giving us the opportunity to ride him back. So a little case of justice prevailing for Pat Day, and certainly a scintillating effort and an off-track. Pat, congratulations. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to Tom Durkin. Tom?
As indicated, is in front at this point, and Cherokee Run, who has been in close attendance throughout. The quarter in 22 4, the half in 45 4/5 seconds. Now, as indicated, really didn't give it up that easily, but as you can see, the ease with which Pat Day and Cherokee Run have taken the lead. He is just cruising at this point. Pat Day virtually motionless as he takes the lead. They are now running 3/4 of a mile in 1:09 3. As they turn for home, this victory was total and comprehensive. He turns back the challenge of As Indicated, who was a graded stakes winner. Miner's Mark will have no excuses today. Had a perfect chance to get him through the stretch. Miner's Mark, again, another graded stakes winner. Pat Day hand riding throughout. He never had to touch Cherokee Run today. This was absolutely impressive, and this is going to be one of the top 3-year-olds throughout the year as the year continues. Very, very good-looking effort. Bob?
And the fans obviously attuned to the off-track work of Cherokee Run. It's official. The winner paying $540. Miner's Mark finished second. He, of course, was co-favored with the winner, and that exacta hooked up for $14. And the trifecta was completed by Silver of Silver, who was a no-factor third, and that trifecta paid $29. So a very impressive victory for Cherokee Run in the mud here at Belmont Park today. Let's go across the country to Chris Lincoln.
Bob Newmeyer, Tom Durkin, thank you for your coverage of the Dwyers. You see, Cherokee Run. He is now the 3-year-old in thoroughbred racing. We'll be right back. Well, history is going to be made in this 54th running of the Hollywood Gold Cup today with the New Zealand horse Rough Habit. It is the first time a horse is shipped in from another continent specifically to run in this race. As you can imagine, the Kiwi horse from down under has attracted a lot of attention here. Charlie Whittingham, the 80-year-old dean of American trainers, was just one of the many curious onlookers in the barn area here to check out the 7-year-old bay gelding from New Zealand, Rough Habit. He is that country's all-time leading money-earning thoroughbred, winning over $3.2 million, 24 wins and 56 starts, in the money in 76% of his races, winning 42% of the time. Here he is at the end of May in Australia, winning the Doomben Cup for a 3rd straight year. Trainer John Wheeler talked about his stable star's popularity at home.
Well, mainly because of his versatility. He's probably never been regarded as the very best horse over there, but probably in the last couple of decades he's the most versatile horse that's raced in Australasia. He has won from 1,200 metres through to 1.5 miles. And he performs well on any track surfaces, particularly when it's really wet.
Wheeler understands the obstacles that Rough Habit has to overcome just getting to the race. The 14-hour trip and the change in season from the southern hemisphere.
Yeah, they're all problems, of course, but I don't think they're insurmountable. We travel a lot in New Zealand, across the Tasman all the time. I think he's made 13 trips across the Tasman. So he's a pretty regular flyer, really.
After quarantine, Rough Habit got right back to work with a 1 1/8 jog, followed by a 2 1/4 mile gallop. What may seem excessive to American trainers.
Yeah, the work we've done here, really, by our standards, is pretty light, really. He's a fit horse, and I don't have to do a heck of a lot, but we do a lot more work at home than you obviously do, and it shows in our horses. They're a lot lighter, harder, and more rugged fit, if you like.
The idea for coming over for the Gold Cup actually came from Australia's leading jockey.
Well, Mick Dittman put the idea in my mind, really, and that's one of the reasons why we're here with Mick. Is he rang me up and he said, I think your horse would suit over there, and I'd like to go over and have a game of golf in LA this weekend. So we decided we'd give it a go.
Yes, that's correct. I'm not his usual rider back home. A jockey called Jim Cassidy's rode him in nearly all his wins. As you say, it was because I've been here and know the scene. That's the reason they asked me to come and ride him.
For the jockey, Dittman, his big concern is how Rough Habit will adjust to the American style of racing in his first start ever on dirt.
Our horse is not used to maintaining that type of speed from so far out. So we'll probably have to try and rest him as much as we can and see if we can get him home maybe the last quarter or the last half mile.
And just what would it mean if the pride of New Zealand, Rough Habit, were to win today's Hollywood Gold Cup?
Well, it's a big drink, isn't it, if you get a bit of money?
Well, some of the folks at Hollywood Park enjoying a nice lunch. I can attest to some outstanding food there, by the way, in the Turf Club. And the man who's in charge of it all is their chief operating officer, the chairman of Hollywood Park, R.D. Hubbard, with a smile on his face and a great race day and a great crowd, R.D.
We have a fantastic crowd today, and we're going to have over 25,000 people on track and probably another 30,000 off track. We'll have between 50 and 60,000 today. They'll bet somewhere around $11 million probably, so it's a great day at Hollywood Park.
The attitude has changed. It seems like this track has really been revitalized. Not only the beauty of the track, but the attitude.
Well, I think it all started with the employees, and 2 years ago when we came in here, and it's just continued to grow, and the fans now are coming back. We're up about 13% in attendance on track this year and about 6% in handle, and one of the few tracks in the country that is showing growth on track. So we're very pleased with what's happening.
We mentioned Rough Habit, the New Zealand horse, coming over here, Dee. You're no stranger, though, this site for international racing, and looking into the fall, of course, your big autumn festival.
Yes, we're very pleased to have the Australians come, and I realize it's a New Zealand horse. They get a little upset, but he did most of his running in Australia, and he's truly a champion over there and one of the big heroes, and to have Mick Dittman with him riding him just makes it that much better. We tried to bring in some races from Australia earlier this year and send our races over there. We're still working on a down under challenge for next year, to where they'll send 5 or 6 of their top horses and riders here and to run against ours. Then the following year we'll go to Australia. So we're really starting to get international.
R.D. Hubbard, the chairman here at Hollywood Park, and a man who makes things happen in thoroughbred racing. And we'll be back with more of Summer Stakes coverage on ESPN. Budweiser Racing Across America welcomes you back live to Hollywood Park. There you see the extra equipment board of the paddock here. You see the blinkers, bridles, overgirth straps in case any equipment needs to be added in the paddock before the horses come to the track. But before we get ready to worry about equipment and a race here at Hollywood Park, it's about time to head to the Shore, isn't it? The Jersey Shore, Monmouth Park. Let's set up our next race. The conditions for the Molly Pitcher Handicap. The purse $150,000 for fillies and mares 3 and up. They go 1 mile and a 16th in this Grade 2 event. It's the 48th running of the Molly Pitcher. Let's head to the Jersey Shore now. And standing by there, Dave Johnson and Jenny Ornstein.
Hazy, 85, humid afternoon. But, Jenny, we had a lot of rain last night.
We did, and the track started out muddy for the first race. It dried out to good. Then it went to fast. Then it went to good again. Right now it's fast. And the races we've just watched, we saw the front runners far back the past 3 or 4 races. Maybe that means it's tiring, though it's fast.
First question, who was Molly Pitcher?
Molly Pitcher was the only woman officer in Washington's Continental Army. And if you're going to name a race for a woman, make it a good woman, and that's what she was. She earned her commission in 1778 for acts of bravery in the Battle of Monmouth. When her husband was shot, she took over his position at the cannon. She was the water carrier. That's That's why she was called Molly Pitcher, but her name was Mary McCauley. Well, these fillies and mares are not fighting for independence. They'll be battling for prestige and for money, and it will be a battle of Monmouth again.
July 4th weekend at the Shore, and we expect fireworks on the racetrack. Now, Shug McGahee trained Miner's Mark to a second-place finish in the Dwyer this afternoon. He'll try and get one of his horses to the winner's circle today here at Monmouth, and the horse is Quilma.
She's number 1, and she has been a sensation since they took her off the turf and put her on the dirt. She's undefeated on the main track. She's won 3 in a row. This was her second win of those. It was the Grade 2 Budweiser Breeders' Cup at Churchill Downs. The horse on the lead is Louis Capote, who she'll face today. She wove through the pack and beat that one, mowing her down. Louis Capote went off as the favorite. She was number 3 there because of this race she had before. The Apple Blossom, a Grade 1 at Oaklawn. Louis Capote, you can see in the pink colors, fading to second. But she is second to a whirlwind called Passiana, last year's champion Distapper. She did go off as a favorite next time because of that. But Louis Capote has not lasted at this distance of 1 1/16 wire to wire in graded stakes company yet. She's got a chore ahead of her.
But it is not a 2-horse race. Let's take a look at the field in post position order. Quilma has drawn the rail, is the morning line choice at 2-1, going for her 4th straight victory. Jose Santos rides. Number 2 is Wilderness Song, the high weight with Dave Clark in from Canada. 3, You'd Be Surprised at 4.5 with John Velasquez. Louis Capote is number 4, 4-1 with Marco Castaneda. Concorde's Gold, the 5-horse, low weight in the contest. Joe Bravo rides 5-1. The longest price on the board is Erica's Dream at 8-1 with Rick Wilson, who has already had 2 winners this afternoon. So a field of 6 and 6 different stories.
And a tough handicapping challenge. They've been running at 5 different tracks last time. 5 of them get new riders. If you're looking for an edge, Concorde's Gold loves this track. She's familiar with Monmouth, and she's got her regular rider, Joe Bravo.
Now, the familiar colors of the Rokeby stable will be in evidence this afternoon because they're sending out You'd Be Surprised. Mac Miller arriving by helicopter just a few minutes ago. Well, You'd Be Surprised in the Hempstead on June the 12th, last out, and finishing 3rd to the real good mare, Turn Back the Alarm. So maybe this 3rd place finish might set You'd Be Surprised up for a real big effort. But this is not the high weight. Who is and why?
Wilderness Song is the high weight. She carries 119, 7 more than the lightweight Concorde's Gold. And that weight because Michael Dempsey, the racing secretary, recognized she's done the most. She's earned over $1,200,000. She has won 13 of 31 starts. But this year, she has not competed well in graded company. She'll have to turn back to her former form. She's got a rider that most Americans are not familiar with, Dave Clark.
In from Canada, maybe more about him as they load. So we have the 48th running of the Molly Pitcher, $150,000 added. And, of course, the trophy, the Molly Pitcher. So we'll be back with all the action from Monmouth Park in just a few minutes, Chris.
All right, Dave, and you're looking there at Monmouth. We mentioned a warm, humid day there. What a fun racetrack that is on the Jersey Shore. We'll be back with more of our coverage of Summer Stakes right after this. A live paddock shot at Hollywood Park in Southern California, the site of the American Championship Racing Series next event, the Hollywood Gold Cup, coming up here. Part of our Summer Stakes coverage, 3 live races, and that's not enough racing for you. We've got a bonus race for you. The Bowling Green Handicap, a turf race in New York, 1 3/8 on the turf there, run earlier this afternoon, a Grade 2 event. And as we join the action here with Tom Durkin to make the call, we'll set it up for you that Hollywood Park actually sent a shipper to New York, the 8-horse Lomitas. The English bred went off as the favorite. Let's pick up the call now. The Bowling Green Handicap from Belmont.
Carterista still there, a length. Solar Splendor now edging to him second. And there goes Solar Splendor now making a move with 5 furlongs to run. Running in 3rd is Lomitas. Futurist toward the inside. Dr. Kiernan now running in 5th. And in between horses, Loiser, and he's moving on strongly. Then farther back, Heavy Rains and Wonderkin. And still trailing the field is Spectacular Tide. Into the far turn now, Carterista still holding a short lead over Solar Splendor, who's right there and moving well. Around the far turn, Solar Splendor putting ahead in front. Carterista emboldened by the challenge is coming back. And Lomitas is right there. Lomitas now revving up 3 wide. Then Dr. Kiernan moving into contention on the outside, now 4th. Loiser's 5th. Spectacular Tide is launching a full rally and switches to the outside for the stretch run as Lomitas takes over. Lomitas in front. Dr. Kiernan in full stride on the outside. And as they come to mid-stretch, it's Dr. Kiernan. Chris Antley rouses into the lead. And opens up now by 3. Spectacular Tide on the outside. Lomitas at the rail. Dr. Kiernan came roaring through the stretch to win here by 4 emphatic lengths. Spectacular Tide was second, and Lomitas was third.
Dr. Kernan wins the Bowling Green Handicap on the turf at Belmont Park earlier this afternoon at 104-1. Let me get that time right. 2:17-3. Excuse me. The time should be 2:17-3. It'd be a bad time for Monfreets on the turf, would it? Spectacular Tide was second, and the favorite, Lomitas, ran third. Howard Whitbread and Hazel Marsh owned Dr. Kernan, trained by Gary Siaka, and ridden to victory in the Bowling Green by Chris Antley. Well, earlier today at Belmont Park, Bob Newmeyer had a chance to visit with Denny Phipps about an important announcement for all of thoroughbred racing. Bob?
Joining me in the winner's circle here at beautiful Belmont Park is Denny Phipps, chairman of the Jockey Club, who has a very special announcement I know a lot of racing fans are going to be interested in. Denny?
Well, we've got a very good day today. Paul Mellon, who's wonderful horse, Sea Hero, won the Kentucky Derby this year, and Mr. Mellon won the Chrysler Triple Crown $1 million bonus, has donated that entire amount, $1 million, to veterinary research. And the Jockey Club is going to raise an additional $2 million for equine research to be able to help all these horses.
Of course, this is for the Grayson Foundation, which was established not too long ago, and I know in the wake of all the breakdowns and the concern about that, Denny, I know a lot of this money is earmarked for that type of research.
Absolutely. We give right now $475,000 a year to veterinary research. This will increase it by at least 50%, and I think we'll have long-range good things coming out of it. But Mr. Mellon's leadership is an extraordinary thing in racing. For 50 years, he's been a leader, and he does it again.
And I know the Jockey Club challenges everybody out in our viewing audience to match any of these funds for equine research. Let's go from New York back to California.
And it's now a typical California day. Bright sunshine just breaking out, blue skies here. Lovely day in Southern California with Charles C. Canning. Charles C., great announcement there from Mr. Mellon. Not to be surprised, though. We just had him featured on our Thoroughbred Digest show as our owner of the month. What a gracious effort.
It's tremendous. I think every horse owner and trainer in the business will be very grateful for this great gift because it'll benefit everybody altogether.
Well, our Gold Cup is our feature here at Hollywood Park. And Charles C. Canning, we have the favorite to talk about now, Best Pal.
Well, he's the leading money earner active in thoroughbred racing right now, but he hasn't won a race since April of 1992, and he's got his trainer, Gary Jones, groping for the reasons why.
Well, I've racked my brain trying to figure that out. I think some of it was my fault because I think I rushed him to get him to the first race. I think he overdid it in the first race, and it's hard when you have a horse like this that's a champion, you know. They'll overdo it, and you never know how much it takes out of them, you know. We learned nothing in the San Diego Handicap because of my instructions, and we went to Oaklawn, and he bruised a foot. So, I mean, he's had some excuses, and, you know, like I'm tired of making them for him. That's why I'm telling you that we're going into this race 100%, and win, lose, or draw, he's got no excuses going in.
Gary's confidence was boosted by this determined effort in Best Pal's last start, a second against a top group of turf specialists in just his second start on the grass. Best Pal's works have also been impressive, and Jones feels he's back on track with his goals for this 5-year-old gelding.
Yes, I think so. This year, the ultimate goal is the Breeders' Cup Classic. We're finally getting to do a very important thing on his home court. We know he loves Santa Anita, and if we could do that and win the Breeders' Cup Classic with him, and that would be the ultimate, I think, for Mr. Mabee and myself as well.
Best Pal is the richest Calbred in history, and his owners and trainer are also Californians. So the chance to win the Gold Cup and have their horse's name added to the famed monument at the entrance of Hollywood Park means a lot.
When I was growing up, the two races that you wanted to win were the Gold Cup and the San Diego Handicap. San Diego Handicap was always important to me. That's the first racetrack I ever went to in my life where I saw a big race, a thoroughbred race, and I always wanted to win that. And the second most important one, you know, all through my youth has been the Gold Cup. So Native Diver won it 3 times. I've watched the history of the race. It's got a great history. Great horses have won it, and you know, when you got a great horse, you like to win great races.
And as he attempts to win this great race, Best Pal carries something he's not had recently, the supreme confidence of his trainer.
You better record this because this is the first time you're ever going to hear me say this, that we got no excuses going in. The weights are right, the horse is trained right, we got no excuses.
I told you history we made here today. As Gary Jones getting ready with Best Pal. That's a live shot at Monmouth Park in Oceanport, New Jersey. It's been drying out all day. We now have a fast track for the Molly Pitcher coming up next. You're looking at a live shot of the starting gate at Monmouth Park, a mile and a 16th. The Molly Pitcher. Let's go back to Dave Johnson and Jenny Ornstein.
It's about 1 minute to post. Let's update the odds. Quilma is the 7-5 choice with Santos. Wilderness Song is at 6. You'd be surprised. Surprisingly, the second choice, Louis Capote, the Speedball, is 5-1. Concord's Gold, 4.5. And Erica's Dream is 18-1, the longest price in the field. Everybody has an opinion, and here's the opinion of the Daily Racing Forum's Johnny Peason.
I see the Molly Pitcher basically as a two-horse race between You'd Be Surprised, Mac Miller's really nice filly coming down from New York, and of course Quilma, the favorite from Shug McGahill. Quilma's won 3 in a row in Florida, Kentucky, and Chicago, but I don't think she's been beating the same kind of horses that You'd Be Surprised ran against New York, coming off that very good third to turn back the alarm. I give a slight edge, call it a minor upset, but I like You'd Be Surprised.
There's the horse that Johnny Peason picks. Jenny, how about a couple of the long shots that we haven't talked about?
Well, Concord's Gold has speed, but she seems to need the lead by herself. She does love this track. She's number 5. Number 6, Erica's Dream, won the Grade 1 Apple Blossom last year, but she hasn't run back to that this year. Those are the long shots at the moment. As you're looking at number 6, Erica's Dream, she hasn't won a graded stake this year. The stakes record for this event at a mile and a 16th is 141-1. Very close to the track record, 141 flat. I think Pison's on target there with You'd Be Surprised. Dave, who do you like?
I like the Speedball Louis Capote. Maybe this horse can go wire to well. We'll find out if she can. No mud caulks. The track upgraded to fast. And the last horse, Erica's Dream, in the gate and ready to go. A 6-pack of talent in the mile and a 16th Molly Pitcher, all in line. And they're off. And Louis Capote, as expected, with the pink cap to the front. But she's got company as Concord's Gold with Joe Bravo on the outside. Matches strides and now takes command as they go to the clubhouse turn. Concord's Gold, the roan mare on the outside, clear now by a length and a half. Louis Capote with Marco Castaneda into the rail now at the second spot by 2.5. Then comes Wilderness Song in third, 3 parts of a length. On the outside with the green cap, Erica's Dream. At the rail, the favorite is Quilma. And at the back of the pack, in some tight quarters there, You'd Be Surprised, about 6.5 from the leader. And the leader is Concord's Gold, with Monmouth's leading rider, Joe Bravo, aboard with a snug hold. He looks back to see he's got about 3 lengths on Louis Capote at this point. Wilderness Song inching up on the inside, a close-up third, and Quilma is also gaining in the red cap at the rail fourth. Then on the outside, it's Erica's Dream, and at the rail, You'd Be Surprised now threads her way between horses and starts a run with John Velasquez aboard. As the field moves to the far turn, it's Concord's Gold in front, holding on to that lead by 4 lengths. Louis Capote is in the second spot. On the inside, Wilderness Song, and there goes You'd Be Surprised with a big move on the outside. You'd Be Surprised now takes third, and there's a quarter of a mile to go. Concord's Gold in front by a length and a half. On the extreme outside in the yellow cap, You'd Be Surprised charges of Louis Capote isn't done, and on the inside, here comes Wilderness Song with a quick rush to the lead, and down the stretch they come. Wilderness Song with Dave Clark aboard taking command. Concord's Gold back to second. Quilma with a late run on the inside, but as they come to the wire, the Molly Pitcher goes to Wilderness Song by a length and a half. Quilma on the inside was second, and there's a photograph for the show spot. A big effort. We remember Wilderness Song winning the Spinster. Well, here she comes back to the winner's circle, and it took her 1 minute 44 and 3/5 seconds on the Monmouth Park track.
Wilderness Song, number 2, with Dave Clark aboard, is pulling up after the Molly Pitcher in the Samson colors of red and gold. Not a particularly fast stake, but what a brilliant performance as she rallied and really woke up this daughter of Wild again. She hadn't been running extremely well this year after 31 starts and 13 wins, but watch her accelerate here and pull away from the early pace setter, Concord's Gold. Concord's Gold going in 1:11-3 and starting to fade. We've got a flock of horses in the place and show position. It looks like number 1, the favorite, Quilma, at 6-5. Will be the place finisher, and I think we're going to need a photo for the show finish in the Molly Pitcher. Well, there's number 2, Wilderness Song. We'll have more summer stakes and Bud Rising racing across America after this.
And at Monmouth Park, Oceanport, New Jersey, we've just completed running the Molly Pitcher Handicap. The unofficial results, the high weight Wilderness Song, 144-3 for that mile and a 16th on a fast track. Quilma was second. Louis Capote finishing third. And we understand there has been an objection filed with Quilma involved against the winner, Wilderness Song. So that is, again, not an official result. Well, of course, we're here to cover the Hollywood Gold Cup. Great racing still ahead for you. The Grade 1 $750 million event. We were looking for some opinions earlier in the week. Had a chance to visit with the Daily Racing Form representative here, Brad Freed, to ask him for his selection and observations.
Well, I think that Best Pal will win the Hollywood Gold Cup today. I hope that Lottery Winner wins it. It's the ultimate dilemma for a horse player, betting against the horse who you believe will win. That's the case in the Hollywood Gold Cup today. Best Pal is the best horse going into the race, but he's also 8-5, 9-5. He's a short number today. Lottery Winner, on the other hand, has some hidden form and a giant price. He's 20-1 on the morning line. He is sitting on the race of his life. He continues to train in excellent fashion, and he's going to get a perfect trip. He's not the most probable winner in the race, but horse players should not be betting on the most probable winner. They should be betting on the horse who offers value. Today in the Hollywood Gold Cup, that horse is Lottery Winner.
And a big price on Lottery Winner with the possibility there. You're looking at a live shot of the paddock here at Hollywood Park. Our Gold Cup horses have arrived. You see some of the saddling procedures going on there right now. We'll be back with our coverage right after coverage of Summer Stakes. And you're looking at the one horse, Bertrando. Bobby Frankel saddling. He's going to be a busy trainer down there. He's got a saddle 3. Bertrando, Marquetry, Missionary Ridge. That's his entry in the Gold Cup. Well, you know, Hollywood Park means stars. Charles C. Candy is up in the Turf Club with a few right now.
The Hollywood Turf Cup, we've got one who really needs no introduction. Marcus Allen, Heisman Trophy winner, USC, longtime Raider. Now he's going to play at Kansas City and join Joe Montana. You two will make a dangerous connection up there.
I hope so. I think it's going to be, obviously, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. Kansas City, it's a wonderful place. They've received me very warmly, so I'm excited.
You're pretty fast. You know something about running. What do you think about these four-legged runners here? Have you got a choice in the Gold Cup?
These exceptional athletes, these horses are.
Yes.
I was invited today by a good friend of mine, Eddie NAHEM, who owns Bertrando. So I'm excited for Eddie. I came here to support him, and I think he's going to win the race.
I would say Bertrando would have to be your selection. He is a quick one.
He certainly is. Gets out pretty fast, and hopefully he can hold it down the stretch.
All right, Marcus Allen, one of our celebrities up here. He likes Bertrando in this afternoon's race. Chris?
Thank you, Charles. When we left you with Monmouth Park and the Molly Pitcher, well, everything was kind of up in the air. There had been an objection filed by Quilma, who ran second, to Wilderness Song, so it's very much unofficial. Let's see if they've sorted things out now on the Jersey Shore. We return to Monmouth Park, and again, Dave and Jenny there for us.
Well, Chris, we had an objection. It was the second horse against the winner, Quilma, against Wilderness Song, but that was not allowed. I'm here with Dave Clark, the rider. We didn't get to tell the story before the race. How did you get the assignment to ride today?
Well, I think Craig Perrett was busy, and I'd breezed this mare a couple of times up at Woodbine, and Jimmy asked me if I'd like to come and ride her.
Pretty good.
Yes, very good.
40 years old, almost 1,500 winners, and the winner of the Queen's Plate twice. Was this as much fun?
Oh, definitely. It's always fun when you win.
Let's take a look at the incident near the 3/8 pole, because there was an objection against you, and we'll watch it right here. Concorde's Gold was flying in front, and where were you at this point, Dave?
I was laying third. My mare was very relaxed, running very easily. We were between horses.
Concorde's Gold in front, Louis Capote second, and you third.
I was third, yes, sir. This time we hit the turn, and I guess the rider on the inside thought it got a little tight just as we hit the turn, but I didn't think I thought he had lots of room there.
Now let's watch you get the shortest way home. On the inside with the nose band, passing the front.
Yeah, when I picked her up and asked her to run, and she just responded tremendously.
Had you been on this horse before, workouts? Or?
Up at Woodbine, I've worked her 3 or 4 times, and she's a super workhorse. She works like she runs.
What kind of instructions did Jimmy Day give?
Well, just how the race developed, really. Let the 2 speedballs go, and if she's nice and kind, just lay in behind them.
And that's what you did.
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations, Dave Clark. A big victory here at Monmouth Park. And let's go to the prices and see the official payoffs from the Molly Pitcher. And the winner was Wilderness Song at $1244 and $3.80 and $144 and $3. Quilma was second, $2.80, $2.60. Louis Capote pays an even $5, $2-1 in the exacta, $29.40. And let's go to Jenny Ornstein. Jenny?
Malcolm Pierce is the assistant trainer who came from Canada to saddle Wilderness Song. If anybody didn't bet on her, it was because she hadn't been back to last year's form. What did you do that turned her around?
Well, she's just had a bit of time, and she's been doing a lot better in her works and stuff like that, and just got to the right spot at the right time, I guess.
She certainly did. She is now a winner of a Grade 2 this year, and you're going to make that all-important phone call to Canada?
Yeah, I got to go home and find out how we did there and let them know how we did here.
Malcolm, it was well worth the trip here in this event, and congratulations to Samson Farn and Wilderness Song. The second two finishers, or last finisher, was number 5, Concorde's Gold, and number 3, You'd Be Surprised, who went off as the second choice at 5-2, disappointed people like me.
But it was an interesting contest, and I'm really glad we got to see Dave Clark in action, and he came through for those who backed Wilderness Song. Let's go to Charles C. Canty. Charles C.
Hi, we're up here in the Turf Club again at Hollywood Park. We found another very familiar face, especially around the races. Dennis Cole, I think you spend a lot of time at the Derby and around here at Hollywood Park.
Yes, the Derby especially. I love to go back to Kentucky because of that southern hospitality that's given.
Very good. We have not seen you around in the movies here much lately. What are you up to right now?
I'm producing. I'm getting the other end of the camera. I'm doing a special right now, an anti-violence special about television and the motion pictures. And so it's not good if you're going to do both. Right. So I really have a strong feeling about what's happening in America, and the reasons being I truly feel that it's television and what the kids are watching. So I want to try and make a little larger impact to the public and let them know that they can make a difference if they stand together. We can't control the kind of viewing we have to have.
Very good. More power to you. Now, give us a quick selection in the Gold Cup.
Well, there are a lot of nice ones. The Rough Habit from Australia is good, but I kind of like Best Habit. And then I also like Latin America, number 8.
He's taking a trifecta.
I look at your notes here, so I think we're going to compare them and see. Maybe we might come up with a winner.
We'll collaborate, but meantime, we'll go back down to Chris.
And you see the Gold Cup horses are leaving the paddock, heading for the racetrack. When we come back, we'll have the post parade for the $750,000 Hollywood Gold Cup. Stay with us. The best is yet to come. For the Gold Cup, the Bobby Frankel train entry, Bertrando, Marquetry, Missionary Ridge, held at 7-1. Lottery winner at 14. Campo Marzio, big price at 30. Rough Habit, that's the horse from New Zealand at 6-1. Best Pal is the big favorite at 4-5. Major Impact held at 6. Patreon at 18. And Latin American at 6-1. Our post parade now for the 1993 Hollywood Gold Cup. Charles C. Canty has joined me here breathlessly after a rush down from the Turf Club. And let's set it up, Chelsea. The one horse will start with the dark brown colt, Bertrando.
Well, he's got that sharp early speed. He's been off the board only once in his life, and that was at 1.25 miles, so distance is a big question mark.
Alex Solis, the rider, 6th in the current standings, won the 92 Santa Anita riding title. 1A, again, part of the Bobby Frankel train entry, a $110,000 Keeneland sale purchase. Marquetry.
Well, longer-winded, but slightly less consistent. But he is good right now, and he, too, wants the lead.
Won the 91 Gold Cup, was second in the Gold Cup last year. Kent Desormeaux, the rider, multiple Eclipse Award-winning rider. His mounts earned over $14 million last year, and he's leading rider at this meet. Missionary Ridge, 1B.
Winless this year, but some very good performances in top company. Like all of his entry mates, he wants to be close to the lead.
And Chelsea is running 5 of the 6 ACRS races so far this year. Curry Nakatani, second in the current standings, has them out. The 2-horse, $21,000 key in the purchase, lottery winner.
They treat this fellow for stomach ulcers with milk of magnesia, but he's an improving sort, but he's yet to win beyond 1 1/16.
Chris McCarron has the assignment, the Hall of Fame rider. His 12th bout in the Gold Cup. He's never won the race. 9 seconds and a third, though. The 3-horse, Campo Marzio.
This is a high-class claimer who's benefited from a change in running styles. Now we'll see him coming from off the pace.
Trained by the meet's leading trainer, Mike Mitchell, ridden by Julio Garcia. The 4-horse, here's the one from New Zealand, folks, Rough Habit.
Well, they were some tough and strong and sound down there, Chris. He shipped in on June 23rd wearing his winter coat from the change in hemisphere.
Mick Dittman, the leading rider in Australia, more than 4,000 wins in his career there, won a race here at Hollywood Park on a visit on May 14th. And this is the favorite. This is the gelding Best Pal.
Word is he's back to his old self. If so, 121 pounds won't stop him. He is the proven class, and the distance suits him perfectly.
He is now odds on the rider Corey Black. That is a change in jockey. He's had him for his last mount. First time on the dirt, though, for Corey Black and Best Pal. The 6 horse, this is Major Impact.
Distance is no problem for this fellow either. He comes from off the pace as he did when he was 3rd in the Big Cap.
And for Major Impact, the rider Gary Stevens won the 1988 Gold Cup. The 7 horse in our parade. This is Potreon.
He was a champion 3-year-old in Argentina, and he makes only his 4th American start. But he's getting the hang of it pretty fast, and I think he could really catch on at 1.25 miles. That was his best distance down there.
What a great rider. Hall of Famer Lafitte Pinkai Jr. This is 20th start in the Gold Cup. 7-time winner. He could equal the great Bill Shoemaker's mark with a victory today on the long shot. The 8 horse, a $300,000 Keeneland purchase, a $100,000 claim, Latin American.
He's another pretty tough customer, but he's been sidelined for 9 weeks after he won the Californian, and his trainer Bob Marshall is understandably concerned about his fitness.
And the newest member of Racing's Hall of Fame has the assignment today, Eddie Delahousie, 3-time winner of the Gold Cup, 80, 83, and 84. That is the field for the 1993 Hollywood Gold Cup. And as we mentioned, the favorite and odds on right now is Best Pal. We're looking for some value in this race, our Budweiser long shot for the Gold Cup.
Experts have been searching for a long shot to make an impact on this 54th Hollywood Gold Cup, and what we found is a major impact. The 4-year-old son of Roberto almost made a high-priced impact on the Santa Anita Handicap in March, finishing as the 3rd nose on the wire in that $1 million classic at 16 to 1. We expect both a similar price and effort today as veteran trainer Willard Proctor's charge gets in with only 113 pounds. In fact, his biggest burden may just be the weight of being our long shot selection.
Well, that won't hurt. I hope somebody gives him some kind of a chance. I know the papers certainly don't. They mention he's in the race, but that's about all they mentioned he ever got. So I'm proud somebody gives him some kind of a shot.
We definitely give him a shot, a Budweiser long shot.
And the Bud Long Shot, you're looking at him there live. Major Impact, the 6 horse. He opened at 12. He's now at 7 to 1. 7 to 1 on the 6 horse, Major Impact. And the favorite remains the all-time leading California thoroughbred money earner more than $4 million, Best Pal, our favorite for the Gold. And we have a field of 8. More than half the field are millionaire plus earners. Over 13 million, by the way. Overall in earnings, field of 10. Let me correct myself in this Gold Cup. And more than half of that field, though, are millionaire plus. Again, the combination of all the money earned, more than $13 million. I'll tell you, one of the fun things with Summer Stakes, you've been treated as some of the great race callers in America. Tom Durkin, of course, calling the Dwyer. Dave Johnson, the Molly pitcher. The man who'll call the Gold Cup for us, one of the best around. That certainly is Trevor Denman. We asked Trevor earlier to look at the field for us, give us his opinions on the race and how it will be run.
Undoubtedly, today's Gold Cup, one of the toughest Gold Cups in years to try to handicap, so I'm not going to try to pick the winner. I'm just going to eliminate the negatives. On the positive side, let's see who gets the best trip. Obviously, Bertrando and Missionary Ridge go to the lead. Marquetry and Best Pal tucked in just behind the leaders. They're going to get the perfect trip. Marquetry, conditioned by the sharpest trainer in America, Bobby Frankel, and ridden by America's #1 rider, Kent Desormeaux. 2 very big plus factors for him. Best Pal, he's a little horse, but what he lacks in size, he more than makes up for in heart, and I look for those 2 to take the lead at the top of the stretch, and I'll give it to Marquetry over Best Pal. The Australian Rough Habit, well, I'd love to give him a chance today, but Australian racing is much like European racing, and we have good experience of the European contenders coming over here. They do exceptionally well on the turf, but horribly on the dirt, and I think the dirt combined with California speed is just going to be too much for Rough Habit. I'll pick Marquetry over Best Pal. Maybe a long shot, the Argentinian Potreon.
Thank you, Trevor. And Trevor will be set to call the Gold Cup when we return to the beautiful track of Lakes and Flowers. And the people, of course, at the windows making their selections. Who do you think will win the '93 Gold Cup? The palm trees, the Hollywood Park starting gate. What a great setting for racing here. And for the $750,000 Gold Cup, the distance again, 1.25 miles. And the first place check, $412,500. Charles C. Candy's joining me now, and a chance to talk a little more about this field. Charles, the entry of Bobby Frankel is an interesting one. You look at Bertrando, Marquetry, Missionary Ridge, all these horses. In the past, we've seen them all are speed horses to run on the pace.
Well, I think that Bobby Frankel is far too crafty to send out a 3-horse team that are going to be mutually destructive. At least you don't think so. Bertrando has the sharpest speed. I suspect he will be on the lead. I'm sure he would like to see Marquetry and Missionary Ridge tuck in a little behind them. Marquetry has shown that he can rate. He did it very nicely in the Eddie Reed, but that was on the turf, so I'm sure he's got a plan. He is no fool.
I'll tell you one who'd like to see a big speed duel up front is Bob Marshall. He is the trainer of Latin America. We saw him win the first ACRS event run at the track this year. That's the Californian. That was when he had run 4 races in like 5 weeks. Well, now he's had 9 weeks off. We asked Bob Marshall about this strange schedule.
Well, he likes quick turnarounds. We've done that before. We usually give him a little breather, and then we knock out 4 or 5 races real quick, and then we give him usually about a 1.5-month breather, not a 9-week breather. And we did that going into the New Orleans Handicap, and then there are the 4 races that you were talking about that he ran in 5 weeks. So he kind of did need about a 6-week break, but not a 9-week break.
The reason there was such a break, incidentally, is the veterinarian gave his horse Latin American just a regular vitamin shot. He had a reaction to it, so they had to kind of back off for a couple weeks. That cost him some time. There you see the horses. They are parading to the post. Let's give you the Am-Tote odds update for the Hollywood Gold Cup now. There's the Frankel entry. Bertrando, Marquetry, Missionary Ridge now bet down to 7-2. Lottery winner 13, Campo Marzio at 25. Rough Habit, the New Zealand horse, at 10-1. Best Pal remains as he has since they put his name in the entry box, the favorite at 6-5. Major Impact at 8. Potreon at 18, and rounding out the field there at 9-2 was Latin American. Chelsea, who do you like?
Well, I think Best Pal, if he is himself, is truly the horse to beat, but I'm looking for big races from 2 long shots. Potreon is 1 because the distance is getting up to suit him, and I'm curious about Campo Marzio. He's been in a new stable now, and Mike Mitchell is batting 36%, his trainer out here, and they're taking him back, so that'll suit this 1.25 mile distance.
Lottery winner goes in the 2 horse. We're going to send it to the top of the stands now. The man who called the Hollywood Gold Cup, Trevor Denman.
Thank you, Chris. Runners for the Hollywood Gold Cup now taking up their pacings inside the stalls. First surprise we have here today is that betting. I'm just amazed that Best Pal would be right down there at 6-5, and there are really some good prices hanging up on the tote board. Bobby Frankel's entry out there at 7-2. That's very good value for money. Must say, though, that Best Pal would have won the award for the best looking horse in the post parade. Gary Jones, the trainer, tip of the hat to him. He has Best Pal looking immaculate today, and if Best Pal doesn't win, can point a finger at Gary Jones. This horse is 100% ready to go. Looked magnificent in the post parade. Last few runners left to load now. The favorite Best Pal is going in under Corrie Black. As usual, he walks in cool, calm and collected. Best Pal stands quietly in the gate. Potreon coming up to the outside gate. Latin American goes in. They're all set. Field for the Hollywood Gold Cup sent on their way. They came off to a beautiful start. The white cap of Bertrando on the inside, and Missionary Ridge is sent along to join him. Marquetry's white face in just behind him. Lafitte Pink Eye moving Potreon up, and Potreon racing with speed today gets up 2nd. Lottery winners 4th. Marquetry now settles down in 5th. Latin American in the gold on the outside, and Best Pal lagging about 8 lengths off the leaders. Major Impact outside of him. The long shot Campo Marzio is 2nd last, and the Australian Rough Habit, as expected, can't go with him. He's last, 12 off the leaders. They head towards the 7/8s, and Bertrando nice and relaxed out here, taking them along a sensible pace. He leads them 1.5 lengths. Potreon is in 2nd, and Missionary Ridge is 3rd. Lottery winner down at the rail is 6 lengths off them. Kent Desormeaux has Marquetry clear sailing on the outside, and look at Best Pal starting to make up good ground at the rail. Best Pal now moving up to 4th. He's 4 lengths off them and gaining with each and every stride. Major Impact is racing back in 7th. In behind him comes Rough Habit. He's now picked up the back markers, but he's 8 off them. Campo Marzio, Latin American is last, 9 lengths off the lead. They have a 1/2 mile left to go in the Gold Cup, and Bertrando still loose on the lead, has it 1.5 lengths, but Best Pal has made up solid ground, and he's right there in 2nd. Potreon is coming under pressure in 3rd. He's beaten Missionary Ridge on the outside, then Lottery winner. Marquetry going to try and move between horses. Major Impact next, and Rough Habit, the Australian, just just not good enough. He's too far back. A quarter of a mile left to go, and Bertrando's trying to hang tough. But Best Pal and Corrie Black are breathing down their necks in second. It's turned into a two-horse race. I think you can make that a one-horse race. Best Pal on the outside lengthens his stride. Bertrando's tough as ever, but he can't quite go with Best Pal. And it's Best Pal, the Calbred all-time money winner, coming home to another superb win. This is the Best Pal we know. It's the champion Best Pal, striding home in the Gold Cup. Bertrando second, Major Impact just beats Marquetry, and Missionary Ridge out at third. Well, a terrific run there, and it certainly was a very good win by the hot favorite, Best Pal.
Best Pal, the unofficial winner of the Hollywood Gold Cup, and he is back. There's the time, 2 minutes, 17 hundredths of a second. Best Pal, the all-time leading California bred, a gelding by Habitoni out of You Bet She Did. Owned by Golden Eagle Farm, one of the most famous sets of racing silks on the West Coast, John and Betty Mabee, and trained by Gary Jones. And I was watching Gary Jones from his boxes. He really cheered Best Pal down the stretch. Gary had a mild heart attack earlier this year. I was afraid he was going to have a major one as he really got after Best Pal, I think more so than did the rider Corrie Black. And what an opportunity for this young rider Corrie Black, picking up the mount on Best Pal. It had been ridden by the #1 jockey in America, Kent Desormeaux. He took off Best Pal in a race earlier. Gary replaced him with Corrie Black. This is his first opportunity to go to the winner's circle with Best Pal, who, as you mentioned, has not been to the winner's circle since April of 1992, when he completed that incredible string of 4 straight graded victories and became the #1 thoroughbred in America. Best Pal, what an incredible effort today, and Trevor Denman's going to show us how the big gelding did it. Trevor?
Well, here he is at the back of the picture, #5, Best Pal. A smart ride by Corrie Black. He's ridden over in Europe now, and that experience must help Corrie. He knows when they're going a little fast early on, and he just takes back here on Best Pal, nice and relaxed. You can see he's got that long rein. Look at it just dangling down. Corrie Black takes a peep underneath him. He's quite content to sit there at the rail, and position is all important here at Hollywood Park, and they open up beautifully down at the rail, and you can see Corrie thinks to himself, well, I'm only just moving on to the back stretch, but I tell you what, I'm not going to let a golden opportunity like this go by. And he sneaks Best Pal through at the rail. You could see him make a lot of ground down the backstretch, and by the time they hit the top of the lane, I think Corrie Black must have been smiling to himself. He's on the outside of Bertrando. Bertrando's a tough customer, but he doesn't quite get 1 1/4 miles. Missionary Ridge far back in third, and here Corrie Black does go left-handed to the stick, but Best Pal, he's just such a tough customer. He probably doesn't need that stick anyway. He knows what the game's all about. On his day, he's probably the best dirt horse in America, and he proved it this afternoon with a convincing win over Bertrando. Chris?
The man who said, I have no excuses, has nothing but a big smile on his face. This is the trainer of Best Pal, Gary Jones. He won the Senator Handicap with this horse. Put him almost to tears. I know this race means a lot to you too, Gary, as a Californian.
Just this horse is such a great horse. He's so good for the game, and the Mabees have been so good to me. It's believe me, I'm really choked up.
Gary, I thought you were going to collapse up there cheering him down the stretch.
Yeah, I didn't root till late. I didn't think he was going to get by Bertrando there for a minute, but I'm just really glad for the Mabees and for the horse, and they stuck with Corrie, and Corrie deserved the win, and it's just really rewarding.
Gary Jones, you deserve the win, too. You stuck with him. Congratulations. I know it means a lot to you.
Listen to these people. They love this horse. I love it.
All right, go to the winner's circle,
Thank
Gary.
you.
Gary Jones, as you see, Best Pal galloping back now to the winner's circle. And it's been a long time since he's been back to this winner's circle, in fact. Let's take a look now at our unofficial results of the 1993 Gold Cup as Corrie Black exchanges high fives there as well. Best Pal, the unofficial winner of the Gold Cup. Bertrando was second, and Willett Proctor's Bud Longshot, Major Impact, finishing third. What a day Summer Stakes has been as Gary Jones receives congratulations. First, we started in New York with the Dwyer Stakes, the Grade 2 for 3-year-olds, and Cherokee Run, a 5-length winner there of the Dwyer. Then the Bowling Green Handicap on the turf with Dr. Kernan winning there. Then on to Monmouth Park and the Molly Pitcher Handicap for fillies and mares, where the highway, dismissed a bit by the betting public, Wilderness Song came down from Canada to win the Molly Pitcher at Monmouth. And here at Hollywood Park, the American Championship Racing Series event, the Gold Cup winner, Best Pal. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of Summer Stakes here on ESPN. And it has been quite an afternoon of racing for you. Summer Stakes has been brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, reminds you, friends know when to say when. By the Daily Racing Form, America's Turf Authority. King Cobra, the king of oversized irons and woods. Oversized confidence, oversized power. By the Bertrando Corporation, leading the way to the 21st century. Keeneland, source of the classic horse. And by the Thoroughbred Racing Associations, assuring the highest racing standards. Charts and statistics courtesy of the Daily Racing Form, America's Turf Authority. This has been an ESPN Sports presentation. In association with Winter Communications, it's official here in Hollywood Park. Best Pal has won the 1993 Hollywood Gold Cup. So long, everyone.